And we are live for another episode of our Facebook series. If you guys don't already know, I'm Ashley. Hi, welcome to the group. I'm really excited today because one of the big things that I'm so I think obsessed with is a good way to phrase it, is just the overall patient experience. When you want to build something differently, you have to start with, well, what does that look like from your patient's perspective? And I'm excited to introduce to you today Katie Nelson. So Katie works with Oryx, and Oryx, if you guys don't know, I'm building another office of my second startup. I'm also a COIS grad, and the COIS curriculum is it's comprehensive. And if you've taken a COIS course, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But this the CEO and founder of Oryx is Rania, and Rania wanted to introduce Katie to the community. And Katie, we're going to walk through what sets your practice apart and how Oryx can help to achieve that. So welcome Katie. Thank you for spending your Thursday. Is it Thursday? Yeah, Thursday afternoon with us.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here with all of you. We get so much interaction with this group, so it's fun to be in front of everybody.
Yeah, we have a really awesome audience, and all the docs are so they just want to do dentistry on their own terms. And I think that's what everybody wants. We want to be our own bosses, but we also want to create our own version of whatever it is, whatever success looks like for us. So I'm gonna let you lead, and then I'm gonna go with your flow, if that's okay.
That works great.
Awesome.
So just a little bit about my background is I am a hygienist and have transitioned out of the clinical aspect, and now I'm working for Oryx. And it was just an amazing transition for me because I had also worked for a COIS doctor, had also used Oryx in my past. So it was a really, really nice transition. And I could come into working for Oryx knowing it was a great product, knowing that I really believe in it and want to share it with everybody. So now I'm in a sales role, and I get to meet with all of you great doctors as you are learning about Oryx and what it can do for the practice. So that's just a little bit about my background and why I'm here and why I feel like I can help just navigate through that whole thought process on what you need when you're building your new practice. So many of the times we get doctors who have such a clear vision and they know exactly what they want to do, and they need a platform that is going to work for them. Traditionally, dental softwares do not do that. You have to work with the software and try to make it do the things that you want. So we're just an amazing, offering for dental startups. I think the big thing out there in the dental world right now, and Ashley, you can probably speak to this too, is that there's a lot of doctors who are going in the DSO route. And that's great. That's fine. And it works for some. But when you're trying to create your startup, it's a totally different experience. You're often looking smaller, trying to set yourself apart, establish the difference that you're making in the community, that you're making with each individual patient instead of quantity of patients.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I'm really excited because Katie is going to, are you going to be showing some of
I can.
software? I totally, so this is unscripted. You guys know that's how I roll. So Katie, I'm just putting her on the spot. So whatever you want to do, Katie, the first time I saw it, it was like, oh my gosh, that is amazing. Like it is a complete game changer. And when you guys see what I'm talking about at the end, the patient will, I don't want to spoil the surprise. Okay.
Don't steal my thunder here.
Okay, so I'm going to allow for you to do a screen share if you want. Only if you want, no pressure.
Okay. I will. I think what I see often is doctors will talk to us and say, okay, I have this vision. I want to share information with my patients. I want them to be part of my team on making the decisions in their oral health care. And nobody really knows how to do that. Dr. Rania will say when she was creating the software, she was doing all of this by hand. She was printing up these crazy reports for all of her patients to try to explain to them all of her findings and what it means in their long-term health. And that takes a ton of effort. You don't have time for that with every patient, especially when you're trying to meet all of these new patients as they're coming into a new practice. I mean, it's impossible to do that. So what she created with Oryx was a way to share that information right back to the patient so that they understand, hey, I have these risk areas in my mouth. I want to fix it. I want to be in better health. And we hear all the time that when they get this information, they say, I've never heard this from my dentist before. I've never been explained my risk. I don't know what this means. This seems so new and I need to think about it. I need to process everything. And then once they do, it makes sense. They start saying yes to treatment, and you have, patients who are part of your team in making those decisions. So I will share my screen here and show you just an example of the risk assessment that we've got created in our software. Is that what you were thinking about, Ashley?
Yes. No, that would be awesome. I'm trying to, how do I do that?
I think I got it here.
Do you know how? Because, there you go. Look at
Did
it. You're a pro.
So this is kind of like the grand finale of everything that happens. And we can kind of get into what a new patient visit can look like by utilizing Oryx. But really, with or without Oryx, I think it's just so important to be able to have the patient understand why you're recommending treatment. Sometimes dentists get a bad reputation out there, and patients think that they're just, every time they come in, the dentist is saying you need some more work done. And that's frustrating for the patient. It's frustrating for the doctors, because as a doctor, that's not true. That's not the case. You've probably been keeping an eye on multiple teeth for years, and finally it's time to do something. And the patients they don't see it that way. So this is an example of that risk assessment. After your new patient's done, if you use Oryx and you're inputting all of the information into the clinical charting, taking photos, x-rays, this is automatically created for the patient right away. It can be shared right to the patient's portal or printed out and sent home with the patient. But there's just tremendous results in patient treatment acceptance when they get this, because now they're understanding, like, okay, you're recommending a crown. They can see their x-ray. They can see the breakdown of why that risk is higher and why that doctor is recommending it.
It is so, I have never seen something like this before. And it's one thing, like you said, it's one thing when doctors will talk about the treatment and then it goes in through one ear, out the other. And the patient literally has no recollection of what was discussed, especially when the bill is talked about, right, at the end. So it's nice that they get to take this home, really process this, and really stare at their photos. Like, it's amazing how many people don't realize how bad of shape certain things are in their mouths. They don't look. And this is awesome. Like, can you show a few steps before this? Like, so from the patient's perspective, what it looks like when they're doing their own intake?
Yes, definitely. Let me just find everything that Oryx has is supposed to be really convenient for the patient. We want them to be able to have a really seamless experience, from booking appointments online to answering all of their questions about their medical and dental forms, getting reminders right through the software so that, your team's not having to have 40 different logins and different platforms that they're navigating through. And then the patient knows that they can instantly communicate right back with the office. So they could have their patient portal right on their phone, be answering medical and dental questions. And then the really cool thing is, once those medical and dental questions are completed, these are some examples. So there's pictures. The patients aren't wondering why it matters if they get food caught in their teeth. When they see it like this, it makes sense. They're like, oh, okay, maybe that could cause problems. I'm going to give a truthful answer instead of just, drawing the line through all of the no's on the paper questions, which we've all been through. And that's no fun, because then you have to verbally go through everything with the patient again. Some of these questions that we have on those dental history forms are, do you clench your teeth? And here's this little lady clenching her teeth back and forth. And it just makes them really think, it gets them engaged, and everything is very customizable too. So a patient doesn't want to sit there and answer questions if they don't see the value in it, or if they're answering questions about something that they already answered no to. So with all of our questions, if they answer no, it'll skip the rest of those questions so that they don't have to answer anything more. And then this is the great part. After they're finished with everything, they get an immediate risk assessment score. So this is going to break down their risk in 4 categories: their gums, their teeth, their bite and jaw joint, and their smile. So just imagine like a new patient booking an appointment, they fill out their forms and they see all of this information. They're going to see like, oh my gosh, I got red in my gums. I better go to the dentist. That need is established already. They're very intrigued. They want to go in asking questions about why they had that score. As a hygienist, this is helpful because now the patient's not coming at me saying, well, you made me bleed. You're poking at my gums and that's why they're bleeding. The patient's already starting to take ownership over their health, and they're more inclined to listen and really get more engaged on how they can make things better. What I really like about this score too is that the practice will get the results too. From my history of working with Oryx, if I had a new patient scheduled with me in hygiene and they completed all of their forms and I could see that they were high perio risk, not happy with their smile, there was a 95% chance that they were not getting a typical pro feed on that day. So we would be able to adapt our schedule, maybe move that patient into the doctor's schedule if he had time, so that I could open up my chair for a hygiene patient. And then the patients are all getting what they need. Nobody's leaving upset. Everybody feels more well taken care of. And it makes our office flow better too, because nobody's getting bottlenecked anywhere.
Nice.
Yeah. Have you had any experience using the risk assessment at all?
No. I mean, well, we're not using Oryx yet.
Oh, you're not live yet. Okay, you're still.
We're not live yet. We just started the onboarding because my next office is still about a month away from opening.
Okay. I was thinking you were just started. Okay. So
Yeah,
you're going to get lots of experience with it soon.
We're going to be, and my team is really excited. I mean, the software is beautiful, one, but it's so intuitive and it just makes sense. And it is a cloud-based software too. So just the first time that Rania gave me a demo, I was like, oh my gosh, this is no one ever goes to the dentist and then leaves with a report that looks like that.
Right. I mean, we always joke because you could take your car in for an oil change and they're going to give you a full report of everything else that's wrong with your car. And it's just crazy that they're more comprehensive than dental offices are. Right?
Yeah. No. And I mean, and that's honestly, that's why they're so successful in the upsell. Like you go in for an oil change and you leave with like, oh my gosh, I needed XYZ.
Yeah.
Also.
Yeah.
So, oh my gosh, it's so cool.
Go ahead.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, I was going to say, I think what's really important with startups in particular, but any practice that's looking to grow really is making it about the patient and not just having them come in and out without really focusing on them. I think that traditionally patients think like, oh, I'm just coming in for a cleaning. I'm fine. I'm just going to be in and out. And asking them questions about themselves, taking photos, showing them, like you said, people don't look at themselves, or they maybe try not to. I don't know what it is, but we have an app for extraoral photos. So it makes it really easy for the team to take photos. I will tell you again from hygiene experience, doctors would always say, get my camera, bring it into the room, take the pictures, then download them, upload them into the patient's chart. And that takes forever.
Right.
So it just doesn't get done. Unless somebody's coming in and saying, I want to do a series of veneers, then you're going to get the camera out. But otherwise, it doesn't happen.
It is 100% the truth. Like one of my biggest things in our practice is a full smile series, a headshot series on every patient, not just the people who are asking for veneers, but just everyone. And you'll be surprised at what people will actually open up about once they see their teeth. So our intake process is patients come in, they come in through hygiene. We allot 2 hours for that. And then the first hour is taking records. And right now I have a photo studio in the front, and one of my assistants will do the headshots and then just a quick a quick few like close-up smile shots and like profile shots. And then they're brought back to the operatory, and then they're taking more shots of like the arches. But then someone else is needing to upload and categorize and put it in the shared drive. And these are huge files because it's my DSLR. So I can absolutely attest to how long that takes. And I'm trying to figure out a better system. So I'm so glad you're showing this. Can you walk us through how it works with Oryx?
Yeah, definitely. So Oryx users will have an app for this. It's called Oryx Cam, and it can be downloaded on Apple or Google Play. And then all of your patients, you're going to be logging into your account when you sign up. And then it'll have all of your patients. You choose your patients, and then it brings up these photography guides automatically. So these are all of like the Kois photography guides. They're all laid out for you. So I know you know exactly what you want to take, but maybe your brand new dental assistant doesn't know what pictures you like to take or what the importance of them is. So now they can just grab their phone, they're choosing which photo, and they line it up right with the patient's face. So they're getting a great picture every time. And as soon as they're done, they are automatically uploaded right into the patient's chart. So it eliminates all of that back end time where somebody's uploading them and categorizing them for you. They'll come in the template that you have ready to go.
Oh my gosh, that is such a time saver. We had to buy, so Colin is watching. Colin had to buy on Amazon a separate card reader to have in every operatory because the card reader would get moved and then you'd have to go hunting down for it before you could upload it. And then if you, heaven forbid, if you're running behind and you're just trying to get the flow going, you don't upload it. And now you have a collection of unnamed photos in your card.
And then you're staring at them a week later and trying to figure out who was this patient. I don't know whose teeth those are. Yes, I've been in that life. I remember that.
Yes, that is all too familiar for us. Like we call it the Guess Who game. Like I will on a random Friday, I'll text Colin and Judy and be like, "Do you guys recognize this smile?" I'm really excited for that. Okay, so now every patient gets these photos taken, and this is just on an iPhone. Yep. So nothing heavy that they need to be like playing with the F settings, nothing like that.
Super easy. And if you want, you could put attach a little light to your phone if you want better lighting or anything like that. I always tell doctors, for new patients, this is absolutely fantastic. You're getting that baseline series of all of your photos. You have all that data. Your front desk team is going to be ecstatic because if they have to go and submit an insurance claim, they can see all of these photos. They probably are going to have what they need for that too. So it's making your whole office flow better and everybody has the information that they need. But let's say you are doing a cosmetic case and you have this fancy, expensive DSLR camera, you can still use that. You would just be able to download them into Oryx then too. So not a problem. Gotcha. So I always tell doctors, use the phone for the first series. And then if you're happy with that, keep using it. If you wanted some more detailed pictures, then you could use your DSLR when you're doing more advanced cases.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Now, do you have some time to show other features of the software?
Sure. What would you like to see?
Oh man, I'm just really excited to start using it. Honestly.
Yeah, I bet. So I will say I can take you into the actual software here.
Okay.
We have everything built in one. One of the things that I've had at previous offices where I was an office manager at one point, I was a hygienist. And when I was an office manager, I was constantly logging into 3 different places to check to see if patients completed their forms, if I have to send an insurance claim, if somebody confirmed an appointment or sent a text message to us. And so much of my day was spent doing that. And it's tiring. It's a waste of time. So Oryx has everything just built into one. So it's great because you're seeing it on a web browser. We are very HIPAA compliant, I should say, too, as well. You can have 2-factor authentication for everybody, so it's very secure. All of the users have their own username and password. And as the practice owner, you don't have to give permission for your entire team to use the software outside of the office. That's completely up to you and what types of restrictions that you want to share with them, too.
Awesome.
All right. Oh, see, I thought I was a professional here. Let me do that again. All right. So Oryx is pretty easy to navigate. This is inside of the software, an example of what a schedule could look like. And you can have all of these different columns, name them, customize them, so it's going to work in your practice. All of your notifications are going to come inside the software too. So these are notifications that came in that somebody sent in their new patient forms and somebody booked an appointment online. If somebody, sent a text message, you're going to see that pop up right on the schedule right away, and you can respond to them right there. What I really like too for the office managers or whoever's at the front desk who's navigating all of the patient communication, they can see, it's kind of a secret, but if your patient has responded, not only responded, but viewed your text message or clicked on the link or anything like that. Oh, that one doesn't have any, but you're going to be able to see the whole breakdown of their experience. So there's no secrets. If you sent them a text message to tell them that they had an appointment, they can't claim that they didn't know about it because you have the history that viewed that text message. So
nice.
Super nice. Let me just see. So like here, you're going to see that it was sent. You could see that it was viewed or clicked on. You're going to see that whole history.
Oh, wait, hold on. Let me add it. There we go.
Okay. So like you can see that this patient opened and this patient clicked on their email, which is just super, super great. There's no secrets.
No secrets. They can't lie. They can lie, but we'll find out about it.
Right. And like when we're talking about doing a comprehensive exam for your patients, what does that mean? How are you documenting all of that? That's tough, right? Like if most softwares, you're just putting a lot of notes in your progress notes. How else can you make that streamlined for your patient so they're not sitting there long in the chair? They're not waiting for you to write up some notes and then come back to a different part of the exam. That's where what Rania created here was pretty incredible. She has all these different tabs as part of your exam. So you have a specific place that you're documenting everything. So you could read your x-rays and chart everything. Not only that, you have your x-rays right on the same screen. So you're not going back to a different page to read them. You have everything at your fingertips, making it super easy.
Now, Katie, is your imaging software, can you talk about that? Like, is it compatible with all sensors or how does that work?
That's a great question. So it's all native. We have our own imaging platform, so you do not need any additional software. It works with just about every sensor that's on the market. I think there's one that doesn't work super great, but everything else we are connecting with. Some of them we even have native integrations right with the sensor. Some of them connect via a different driver, but they all work. So it's pretty great. Again, let's say you're at a conference at your retreat and you have a patient call with an emergency. You could pull up their software on your phone, see their x-rays, answer their emergency call probably for them right then and there. That's a huge benefit to doctors, especially, with smaller practices. You're maybe not working 5 days a week and in the office all the time. So you want to still be able to deliver that patient care to them, but you aren't there. How can you still communicate? How can you access their information without being in the office?
Absolutely. Oh my gosh. Okay. Can you, I'm really excited for this. Can you show the procedure, um, like the checklist for procedures,
Yes. So like for your notes.
for the assistants to be able to, is that in the notes? I
Yeah.
just remember being so
Yes.
wowed by that.
So when you're in your treatment notes, you're going to be able to see all of the different types of notes. So I'm going to create a new treatment note. And then I would be able to say like, okay, we're working on tooth number 4 and we're doing a direct pulp cap. So you're going to have all of these different checklists that you can fully customize. And that's, again, what I really like about this software is you're going to be able to make it your own. So let's say you did a direct pulp cap for this patient on tooth number 4. It's going to have every step of that procedure right here. And you're going to be able to put this in your note really quickly. So you would just select all and then answer anything additional, like the tooth was asymptomatic and use sterile saline and a B1 shade. Generate that note. You have everything finished and done. And this is what your note would look like right here.
Oh my gosh.
So efficient.
It's so efficient. And, but also like your assistant knows exactly what to anticipate next, especially if they're pretty green.
Yep.
If they've never done that procedure before, it's like right there. We do have a question. Can I combine this to my open dental? So this is this is an either or. Like
Correct.
this is its own, it's not an addition.
Right.
Not a feature. Like this is a cloud-based practice management software.
It really is. We do have a clinical version of it, and we have a handful of open dental users who do just have the clinical portion. So if that's something that the user is interested in, you have access to all of the charting, all of the treatment planning, and the risk assessment. And so really what they use it for is, when you have a patient coming in and they're going to be a big case, maybe a full mouth reconstruction, and you want to really document everything, give them that great patient experience, the full risk assessment, they will enter everything into Oryx in that situation and share it with them. But you would still need open dental to bill and schedule and everything.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. So most of our users have the full Oryx experience with the Oryx Pro.
Yeah. So, I mean, gosh, Dr. Rania is such a genius.
She really is.
I know she's watching. She says we're looking good. So thank you. I mean, I'm really excited because it's going to save a lot of time, and it's so sophisticated. Like you can't, man, it's so nice to see things in color too. I'm a very visual person. So to see it in different colors, I know that's so.
It's happy, right? It's
Yes.
a happy feeling. Yeah.
Absolutely. Is there anything else that you want to show off?
Yeah. Just talking about these notes again, I have talked to several new doctors that they say, okay, I have to really nail down how I'm doing all of my procedures. And I say to them, yeah, you do. Because you need your assistants to know how you're doing those procedures too. Especially when you're a brand new practice, you have a brand new assistant that you just hired. Maybe they've been in dentistry before, maybe they haven't. How amazing is it to be able to say, okay, we're doing a direct pulp cap today. Before I come into the room, please pull up that note, review the steps so that you're extra prepared. You make sure that you have your setup right with all of the materials that we're using. And then they're starting to anticipate your needs way faster than they would be if you're stumbling through it without having that preparation. So it's such a good tool to be used both ways.
So cool.
How about analytics? Is that exciting?
I mean, yeah.
Are you a numbers person?
I am not, but this is why I need to be. And someone is asking before you move on, do you provide training? Like, what does your onboarding look like?
Yeah. So onboarding is kind of exciting. Onboarding is, you're coming in with all of the excitement of learning something new. So you'll get assigned an onboarding specialist who is going to be your person from the beginning. As soon as you sign up, they're the ones who are walking you through every step of the way, helping you get set up with your training, working with you on your customizations, setting your launch date when you're going live, being that person that you're coming to with questions. So it's really nice. That's something newer that we've implemented, to have just one singular person that's assigned to each office who's starting with us. And then the training is great too. It's unlimited. For startups, especially, you start with a small team, right? You maybe have a dental assistant, maybe a hygienist, maybe not, and somebody working at the front desk. And then as you grow, you need to hire more people, but you're busy. So we'll train those people as they get hired. They can jump on to group webinars for all of the different training sessions. So they're learning to use the software, and you don't have to take the time to do it.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So this is our dashboard. This is going to be just a really great, easy to read breakdown of all of your analytics. So you can filter it by any date range, specific providers, whatever data you want to look at. And it's going to show you your production and collection totals, you as a dentist, and then your hygiene team will be separated over here. It'll also tell you what your goal is for that date range. And if it's red, it's telling you that you didn't meet your production goal here. If you did, it would turn green. So it's like, at a quick glance, you can say, okay, this quarter, I have not met my production goal. And then you can really look at what you're doing for your treatment here. This is huge because, you think you have a vision for your new practice and you're like, we're going to do all implants. And maybe you look at it and say, we didn't do many implants in this quarter. We did a lot of crowns. Let's think about what's happening. Are we not marketing the right way? And you can just have a really good breakdown instead of having to run those long, lengthy reports and try to read through them. You're going to be able to track all of your attendance, if your patients are coming, how many new patients you have, if they're scheduling their next appointments. And you can track all of your hygiene intervals too. There's a report that you can run to show you all of your hygiene patients and if they're overdue or not. But how much easier is it to look at a graph? And you can see that you have all of these patients that are yellow who are behind schedule for hygiene. And it's actionable data. You can see that 299 of them have broken appointments. 117 of them just don't have anything scheduled. So it's a different way of looking at the data. Instead of just saying, okay, we have all these patients who aren't on time. You can see like, okay, why are we letting them break appointments? Is there something that we're doing in our practice? Let's evaluate our systems and try to make it better. And then these case acceptance are great too, because of course, tracking treatment plans are super important. Is your team scheduling those appointments? Are you really getting across the value to your patients to make sure that they want to schedule those visits? This is a bad example with this date range. Let me just do a last 4 weeks. Oh, that's still bad. This is just a terrible, let's look at this one. This is when we wing it. Let's say the new patients, in the last year, we had 117 new patients, and we diagnosed and didn't present $243,000 of treatment. So that's a problem. You can see that it's just not getting anywhere. The patients aren't listening. And you had $52,000 of treatment that the patients signed their treatment plan but didn't book. What I love is this list that comes from here. It shows you all of your patients, their treatment plans. You can open the drop down to see the procedures on it. And then this is your follow-up list in your office. I can tell you that in the past, I've worked in a practice and, you have a slow day and the doctor prints off unscheduled treatment lists and gives everybody a packet and says, follow up with these patients. I remember one time specifically, the doctor gave everybody the same packet and we didn't realize it. So everybody.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So some patients at the beginning of the list got 4 phone calls and they were not happy about it.
No.
Right. And the people at the end of the list never got touched. So that's an issue. Now here you're going to be able to say when you communicated and when you want to follow up again. And then these lists can be sorted by follow-up date. So no matter who has time to work through the list, you're always on the same page. Nobody's getting called twice in one day from your team.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very cool. And someone is asking, sorry, I can't see your names on our streaming software. Can patients make payments by text?
Yes, they sure can. They'll be able to, let's just pick a patient. In their communication area, you have this request quick payment button. So you're going to be able to just say, you owe $45, send a quick text message. When they get that, they're going to be able to pay it on their phone and it'll come back and post as a payment inside their billing section. So it's pretty awesome.
It does it automatically when they pay.
Yep.
So what is is there a native merchant services that's linked to this, or how does that work?
It's not native. We integrate right now with Global Payments, and we are just a couple weeks away from having an additional credit card merchant that Dr. Rania is finalizing the setup on that too. So I can't name it. I can't talk about it yet because it's not finalized, but it's coming.
Are you able to pass on that that credit card fee to the patient?
I think you can. You would have to add it in your billing system as like a percentage that you would just add on to their treatment. You could, but it would show like on the statement that you added that on.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you can only use this feature if you are with the Global Payments as of now.
As of now. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
The other thing that you can do if you have an integrated merchant is that you can set up payment plans in the software. So if you have a patient who's maybe you're doing an ortho case for them and you say, I want to be able to charge you monthly, you can store their credit card with the merchant. It's going to store in the software so that every date that you have it set up to, it's going to draw that amount and post it as a payment in there. And then for all of your reporting, when you're looking at, who has outstanding balances, you can filter it by people who have payment plans that you don't need to send them a statement.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very cool. Will you pull up the finance tab?
Yes.
Because that's what everybody wants to see, right? Like we want to make sure we're getting paid.
Yeah. So like, are you talking about like how you're checking out a patient?
Sure.
Okay. So Oryx is all on an invoice system instead of a running ledger. And when you're talking about the patient experience, this makes it so much easier for them to understand what they're being charged for, what they've paid money towards. So traditional softwares, it has all the family members and all the different claims and payments all just kind of in a running total. Oryx is separating everything for you. So when they come up to the front desk, your front desk can see like these are all of the procedures that the clinical team has checked off that they completed that day. So they can verify and say, we didn't do 2 fluoride varnishes. I'm going to make a correction right here. So it's obvious right away. Verify the providers, and they're adding their claims right away too. I didn't mention this. Claims and attachments are all included. So if you're an insurance-based practice, you're going to be able to submit everything right when you're checking that patient out and have it ready to go so that at the end of the day, you're submitting all those claims and they're completed.
Nice.
Once this is completed, you're going to create a new invoice. And once the invoices are created, you're going to see a red dot. It'll show you all of your procedures that were completed, the claim that was created, and it'll show you if there's a patient balance for this or if everything's going right to the insurance. So it's very streamlined, easy to read for your team. Once that insurance payment comes back in, then that red dot magically goes to a green check mark, and it looks like that invoice is done, paid for. You really don't need to worry about it anymore. And you're also able to store your EOBs right on each invoice too. So it makes like the organizational part for your front desk a lot cleaner rather than having a big file cabinet with all of the paper EOBs stuffed inside of. I've lived that life too. That's not fun.
I think we've all lived that life.
And then you're sorting through it, trying to find something. It's a mess. Yeah. Yes. And then what else did you want to see as far as like the finance?
Well, can you pull up all the patients who owe a balance within the last 30, 60, 90 days?
For sure. So that would be in your financial reports on your aging report. Everything's very filterable, and you can say, I want to see only patients with, a balance of a certain dollar amount, a specific date range, any outstanding claims. You could filter out payment plans that are being owed, and then get your list here. So it's pretty clear, easy to understand. You're going to see when they were last billed, how old the payment plan is, and you can add notes here. And those notes also go onto the billing page. So if you're looking at a patient's billing, you're also going to see the note that somebody had written when they were going through the AR report. Now, you can also generate statements from here and send those electronically right to your patients too. Super fast and easy. They get alerted with an email that they just had a statement shared. And again, they can click a button and pay that balance online. And it'll come back and post as a payment into the billing.
But only with Global Payments.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Or the new one that is about to come.
Or the new one that is.
Yeah.
Very cool.
That's a pretty comprehensive report. I'm trying to think what else. I know what's important. So when you are building your practice, you have to track your new patients, right? Marketing is huge. How are those patients coming to find you? There's so many different avenues that they could be coming from. We want to help with that too. So in your reporting section, you have this referral report. And this is going to be able to, again, be filtered by any date range. So in the last 3 months, now you get this fun little pie chart to tell you all of your new patients and how they found you. So each one of those colors is a new referral source. Nice. This is a huge, huge deal for new practices, especially. And you could say like Google brought in 32 patients, but it also shows you how much production you brought in from those patients.
That is awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, number of patients is great, but production is really where it counts, right?
Yes, because right now my office manager, Judy, she tags a referral source, but then she has to go and manually add, like she creates her Excel spreadsheets, and then she tracks those numbers. So that this is awesome.
Her job's going to get easier.
Yeah, she is so excited about Oryx. You have no idea. Like she's really looking forward to it.
Good. Now, if Judy still likes her Excel spreadsheets, you can export all of this right to Excel too, so she can keep track of it.
Okay.
Which is great. And then you can even show trends. And what I really like about this is you could say, I want to show each month when the new patients came in, or I want to look at it in a bar graph way. Let's change that to the last year. And I had one doctor say, this is going to be great because we take off a week every year. And I would like to do it when we don't have a lot of new patients coming in. I was like, well, this is perfect. You can really track that history and then take your week off where you close the office down.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Katie, what are those ancillary tests?
That is where all of your x-rays and photos
are. Okay. Yeah. And then the patient reports are?
Patient reports are that risk assessment.
Gotcha.
I'm going to pull up an adult patient again here. So yes, the patient reports are your risk assessment where you have all of those different colors and the categories, and it has the patient's applicable photos and x-rays for each part of that. And then it really shows even each tooth that you had a concern with. Everything's color coordinated too. So high risk is red, moderate risk is yellow, low risk is going to be green. So then they're matching it up to, the treatment plan that you've created and priority, right? Your first things on your treatment plan are going to be your high risk areas normally, and they can match it up and it makes sense to them.
No, and I also want to point out that all of those words, like nobody is filling that out from the office. They're already generated based off of what was taken during the intake.
Exactly. During your intake, like during their medical and dental forms that they did, yes. And then when you're charting too. So you're going to be able to add all that detail in your charting without having to put it in notes. So like if you can see, I don't know how small that is, but 20 and 21 both have resins. 21 is really large. That was just charted with one click of a button. I'm on the wrong screen. Sorry. One click of a button right here that it was a large filling. So super easy. Not only that, when you click on the tooth number, but it's showing that information to you. It's showing that you entered it was a large filling, and now it's putting a structural compromise on that tooth because it's a large filling. Now on that risk assessment report, the patient has this information. They're saying, okay, it's structurally compromised. That tooth's at a risk of fracture, and it includes like some literature explaining, the benefits of doing a full coverage restoration on that instead of just replacing it with another filling. So now you're talking to them about long-term effects in their mouth and what's really going to happen and why they should make the investment to have the better treatment done now.
I love it. I know it because in Open Dental, in my first location, all of the existing conditions, they're all the same size, regardless of it's so hard to see what is actually, oh man, that really should be a crown versus, oh yeah, that was a small DO.
Right. I started in dentistry on paper when we were drawing everything on the teeth, which was kind of nice because you could get a little artistic and then see exactly what was happening. So Oryx brings a little bit of that back, plus more. And then if you wanted to look at the x-rays on those teeth, you can come right here and you are looking at your x-rays and you have them available at your fingertips too. I love that aspect.
I love that too, because right now we're having to use a separate bridge software to open it up, and then you have to load it.
Yeah.
Everything it just takes a long time.
Yeah.
So this is going to be awesome. And we have a question. Can patients' reports be generated in a different language?
Not currently.
Okay.
That is a feature request that I know the team has. I don't have a time frame for it, but not currently.
Okay.
You can make custom forms for everything else. So for like your medical and dental history forms, if you had a financial agreement that you wanted all of your patients to sign, you can create those all in as many different languages as you want. But the automatically generated ones are in English only at this point.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Trying to think about like things to make it better for your patients. Like, I don't know, do you guys have patients call after their visits asking questions ever, saying, I forgot what my hygienist said. Can I talk to her? And she doesn't have time to go talk to the person on the phone.
Yes.
So Oryx kind of conquered that too. You're going to be able to have your, sorry, I'm in the wrong spot, the home care. So you can create your home care recommendations and share those back to your patient through the patient portal. So now they're not saying, hey, what kind of toothpaste did my hygienist want me to get? They can come right on here. They have that information at their fingertips, or post-op instructions you can share right to them too, so they don't lose the piece of paper on the bottom of their car floor or something like that. Everything's going to be really accessible to them at any time that they want to go back and check it.
Nice. Very cool. Awesome. Well, I think we are no more questions.
Okay.
So if there is anything else you want to talk about or show us.
So if I can, just talk about our great new startup promo.
Oh, wow.
Interested?
I love a good promo.
Okay. All right. So we are super excited to be working with startup offices. This is just our new mission, is to help all of these young, growing doctors succeed. So we have a new promotion that we want you to grow without paying for your software. So you're going to be able to sign up.
What?
You're going to be able to sign up and not pay your monthly fee until you hit 200 patients in your practice.
Wait, can you say that for the people in the back? What?
You're not paying for your software until you hit 200 patients in your practice.
But you have to mention the Facebook group, okay?
Yes.
You heard it here first.
Yes. We're so excited about it. We have not offered anything like this before, and it just feels like such a great partnership with all of the new young doctors who are just trying to make so many decisions at the beginning. There's so many things to decide on, and so much unknown out there on construction and when things are going to start. I mean, prior to that, I could feel the stress from new doctors who said, I don't know when to sign up. I don't know when I can commit, because what if construction gets delayed? Or, what if my lease falls through? Or what if I don't have any patients for the first month? There's a lot of fear out there, and we want to help with that. So,
well, that is absolutely amazing. And you guys really have no excuse not to take Oryx up on their offer. That's huge. So 200 patients, some practices that can take half a year or longer. Like you just don't know what kind of demographic you're in. So don't be skewed by everybody who's posting that they're opening with hundreds of patients already waiting to get in. That is not the norm. And if you think that's a norm, you are going to feel so small when you open. So don't play that game. Don't just take Oryx up on their offer. Say that you watched Katie do a fabulous job on this live. And thank you, Dr. Rania, for being a part of this group. So Rania was a speaker at our retreat our first retreat, and just hearing her story, especially as a woman, and having to go through what she went through with her own startup practice, and while she was pregnant with twins, it just, I mean, you guys have to hear her speak. It was amazing. Like I know it made me tear up because I was also pregnant when I opened my startup, and things happen. Like we can't predict the future. So I just love doing business with people who I know, like, and trust. And Ranya's been one of those people for me. And I'm excited to see Oryx being used by more startups, especially with that amazing offer. It's cloud-based, and because it is cloud-based, you can use Apple products.
Mm-hmm. Yes, we are Mac compatible. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So you can have that sleek new look at your front desk, and it'll still work great.
That that's what a lot of people want.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm really excited to use Oryx in the new location. I'm excited. Well, I don't know if you're going to be in Sonoma, but I'd love to meet you, and it's going to be amazing. And Rania is speaking again at our retreat, and she's going to be talking about. I won't spill the beans. Actually, I'm going to wait until Rania gives me the green light to talk about it. But guys, last year was amazing. This year is going to be incredible. We certainly hope you can join us. Where can they book a demo with you, Katie?
Yes. OryxDentalSoftware.com. There is a link that they can book directly right there. Or otherwise, maybe I can post something on the Facebook group right away too. If anybody has any questions, I'm happy to answer that way too.
Yep. Yeah, no, we appreciate your time, and we appreciate Oryx's generosity, and it's so different than anything that I've seen before. And if you're trying to make a splash in your community, I mean, difference is always a good idea.
I agree.
So, yeah. Well, thank you guys for joining. Make sure you heard it here first from the startup group. Take them up on their offer. At least book a demo. Yeah, book a demo. See what cloud-based software can do for you. Oh man, and then buy some sexy Macs.
We have fun during the demos too, so it's good.
Yeah, I can tell that Katie brings the fun wherever she goes. All right, well, thank you guys, and then join us. I think next Thursday. I don't know, next Thursday. Yeah, I'm sure Colin has me booked for something. All right, have a wonderful weekend, and to all the dads out there, happy early Father's Day. And a special shout out to Brandon Pryor, because it's his birthday today. He's one of the moderators for the group. So we love you, Brandon. All right. Take care, guys. Bye.